We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred.
With Maxwell Silverhammer.
We are nothing sacred. With cruise control. We are nothing sacred.
Whoa! Yeah, betcha.
It is that time of the month again, and no, we can't say it's actually a female problem because there's no females here yet.
Koala's not
But
here
they
yet.
will be soon, I'm sure. We're just giving her a hard time. Love you, Koala. This is the Nothing Sacred Drink Wrap, or the Drunken Sacred Shrink Wrap, or the partially drunken, someone's kind of drinking something at some point wrap.
Yeah.
I'm Cruise Control.
And I'm Maxwell Silverhammer.
And I'm Louie Loke.
And we are all
here we
chilling.
be, man.
And we were just talking about knee-jerk reactions and what people think they are, and
yeah,
other shit. We're just rolling along.
Because I think I have improved when it comes to knee-jerk reactions. I think,
So. Knee-jerk reaction, if anybody doesn't know, is when something basically kind of jumps out at you, like you just react instinctively, like
Right. And if somebody would send me a text that would piss me off back in the day, I would, go back at them and be like, "Well, motherfucker," da, 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 where I had a situation this week where I didn't. I just left it alone, and I said, I think I just need a few days to cool off before I respond. But I did figure it basically has to do with my cleaning person.
Yeah.
But see, I'm calling bullshit on the knee-jerk reaction.
Okay.
Because I feel like, and this is just me, maybe a little bit of my expertise, but mostly just me. Okay. So I feel like if we were really self-aware, we would pay attention and be like, okay, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to send this text right now? Like, really?
And I did.
Even if it is an impulse to be like, oh yeah, well, fuck you. Wait a minute, what am I doing?
Yeah, well, that's
and
that's what I did. I'd thought about it, and I said, nope, because I was gonna just, well, it would be nice to know that, blah, blah, but I didn't say anything shitty. I was just like, maybe I should tell the story to give listeners context.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that the knee-jerk reaction in itself is almost like an excuse. Oh, I had a knee-jerk reaction. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help but
I wouldn't blame it on that.
Send that mean-ass text to somebody.
See, I think it's impulse control. I think it's like taking a moment to take a step back and not instantly do something, to say something, to get, because what a lot of times a knee-jerk reaction is like, you're not gonna do that to me. I'm gonna hurt. It's almost like. Right. Or like or another thing like that where you're just like slapping the hand off you that you don't want, get off me, when you could go take the hand slowly, all right, no, don't
move it off
me,
you,
because then you just it's basically like a impulse control, like instead of just jumping to conclusions too, which is a story. I'll go to my story later on.
Oh yeah, well here, hold on for 1 second. Let me just tell the story so the audience has a little context. Like, what the fuck are these assholes even talking about?
Are we gonna tell us? Are we gonna say what we're drinking or what?
Oh yeah. Well, you guys know what I'm drinking.
You guys know what I'm drinking. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm the only one drinking, huh?
Yeah.
As far as alcohol goes.
Yes, you are. I'm drinking. I was drinking water, but that's empty, so I'll probably walk over to get some more in a second.
I'm drinking a Sprite.
Obey carbonation, dude. I might even go grab my sparkling ice. Zero sugar sparkling ice drink.
Here,
well, I like the kiwi strawberry one.
Oh, see, I like the cherry limeade, baby. Give me that.
Oh, dude,
I like a lot of them, but I get them, but they're terrible for you still. They're like, oh, they're good for you. They have no sugar. Sure.
Yeah, I love that shit. Oh, it has no sugar. No, it's still bad.
Calories. It's good for you. Yeah. Where do you think that sugar taste come from? It comes from fucking crazy ass chemicals.
Aspartame.
Anyways, aspartame, whatever the hell it is. Aspartame. That's an
asshole-tane.
Aspartame. You're gonna smell like ass when you die because
it pertains to your asshole.
Pertains to your health.
So,
all right.
So just give them some context here. What happened is, and I'll speed it up, but basically, my cleaning lady's kind of flaked 2 weekends in a row. The first weekend, she said she was having some issues with vertigo, and she was having some other issues with her hubby. And then the second weekend, I think I texted her last Friday and I said, "Are you still coming to clean on Saturday?" So she texted back, yes, I'll be there. And I said, okay, cool. I'll just text you when I wake up, when I'm up and ready to go. So Saturday morning, I text her and I said, hey, are you coming over? I'm ready whenever you are. Nothing. So later that afternoon, I texted her again and I said, hey, are you coming over today? I said, or if not, do you prefer to do tomorrow? Still nothing. Then like 3 days later, she sends me a text and said she was in the hospital and she had her iPad with her, but didn't want to log in because she didn't want her credentials all out there. So to me, I was kind of like, okay, this sounds, and that she put up pictures in the timeline when she was in the hospital. And the comments, I couldn't tell what the pictures were, but the comments were all, oh, how beautiful. Oh, gorgeous. And I'm like thinking, okay, if you're in the fucking hospital. Yeah, exactly.
I'll just say they didn't look like they were from a hospital.
No, yeah, they were not hospitalotic pictures.
Anyways, there's a couple things going on here.
Well, and I chose not to respond to her. I just said, fuck it. I'm not going to respond. We're just going to let this go because the old Maxwell would have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you would have responded negatively.
Yes.
However, you could have played it off and said, oh, I'm so sorry. I hope you feel better.
But you know what? I didn't feel that way because I figured it was.
But that's what I was going to say. Did he really feel that way? Because then he would be fake, right?
Yeah, I don't want to be fake.
But what if she was in the hospital, man?
Well,
if she was, she was. It's a business relationship, right?
No.
That's okay. Let's hear Cruise Control's bit on this.
Is it a business relationship?
Well, we are friends. True that.
That's probably that's one of the things I'm kind of getting at is that I'm kind of learning lately that like those business relationships, a lot of times as friends, the muddiness goes in there.
Yeah, you're right.
Sure.
Right, because you've hung out with her multiple times, dozens and dozens of times.
Oh, yeah, we were friends before she was cleaning my house for sure.
Yeah.
But now I got a new cleaning service. It was somebody else recommended these people, and they were good. They came over here and they were, it's a mother and son duo, I guess, and They were fucking kicking ass. So anyway, yeah, they did a nice job.
But see, here's where I'm kind of going with this. And it's not necessarily about because we were talking about like a reaction, like you said, a knee-jerk reaction or an instant reaction. Right. Your instant reaction wasn't to go, hey, that's crazy. Are you okay? How are you doing? Your instant reaction was to go, well, you weren't there on Saturday.
Right.
So it's interesting because it became something more than just you compartmentalizing the business and the friendship when she might not be doing that.
Gotcha. Okay. Got you.
Like so you're thinking business. Oh, she wasn't there cleaning when she's going, dude, I just told you I was in the hospital. You just like, well.
Yeah.
You see what I'm getting at? What do you think about that, Lou? Give your
So what were you thinking?
I was
sounds like a Dr. Phil question, but
he's right. I mean, Cruise Control is right. I was thinking about it from a business perspective, but rather than getting nasty and reprimanding my employee, I just said, you know what? Then you're done.
Okay. Pat yourself on the back for doing that.
Okay.
But did you actually show care for your friend?
Yeah. that's kind of where I'm getting at. I'm not, just.
But
seriously.
you remember the second piece of this puzzle here, where on Facebook. The pictures were not necessarily hospitalotic,
Okay, so you think your friend is lying?
Yeah, I think she's bullshitting with me. So I'm like, you're fucking lying to me. So rather than losing it, I just said, let me just go cool off, and when it's maybe in a week or so or something, listen. If she texts me or calls me, I'm not going to be nasty to her. Although I will tell her, listen, I was a little upset about the hospital thing. Like she did with me that night that you and I were at her house. Remember that?
Yeah.
So we can tell each other we're mad at each other. That happens.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just because I know because the way I see it, because you on Saturday you didn't say this is not your fault, because like I said, it's not about fault. It's not about like fucking whose fault
who's
it
to blame
is.
kind of thing.
No, it's not about who's to your, but you did not say.
Are we walking on eggshells over here? Cruise Control.
Yeah, well, no. But instead of you didn't say, "Hey, I haven't heard from you. Are you okay?" or anything like that. You said, "Hey, I noticed you didn't come over today. Are you going to come over tomorrow to clean my house?"
Yeah. Well, because I don't know what the fuck's going on with her.
You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, as a friend, I'm not talking because remember that you are compartmentalizing. A lot of people don't. It's that might this big thing like, oh, I'm kind of I do this for him. He kind of helps me out. Obviously for you, it's a business thing because you give her cash for doing it or whatever.
Right.
Obviously give her cash or whatever.
Cruise control. I think you would function really well here in the South.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about because of that hospitality. Yeah,
because Max is just like me.
Yeah.
Max is like me. I've been told that sometimes when I write emails, I just get to the point. Like, what do I? This is what I need. Can you give it to me? Thank you.
Right.
Goodbye.
Exactly. Well, that's just me. I'm that way.
And the thing is that I live here in Texas, and people aren't used to that directness. They're used to. Hey, how did it go in the hospital? Is everything good? Okay. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, now we can talk about business. Blah,
exactly.
Blah, 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 blah.
Or even just, hey, I didn't hear from you. Are you okay? Not hey, I didn't hear from you. Are you going to come tomorrow? Like not even thinking about whether there's something happened to her. That's the reason why she didn't come. It was just, hey, where were you? Where the hell were you?
Because and me and Max are just similar in that.
We're just
it's
straight to the point. I hate when people dilly dally and try to drag a fucking story out and I'm just like get to the fucking point already.
But for me, it's not. That's
the thing for people here in Texas. It's not dilly dallying either. It's respect. It's like showing that you actually care instead of just being like, shut up and get to the point.
No, it's not even about getting to the point. You didn't give a shit about how she was doing. You cared that she didn't come clean your house.
Well, what I used to say is
you would function well here, Cruz.
Yeah.
I'm a diplomat.
Cruz Control knows. I mean, he lived with me, so he knows. Like, I'm one of those dudes, man. You flake on me, and it's like, dude, you better be fucking found in a garbage bag with an X blade out of the back of your skull, because that's the only way I can see that you can.
That's why I show up 5 minutes early.
Because if I'm 2 minutes late, it's like, where is he?
Well, I'm tough on people like that, so I'm the same way. I hate being late to shit. I get so fucking pissed off, So yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of here the way it is here in where I live is that it's like a 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock start is a 7:10 start.
Man, that's too California liberal for me, man. I'm just
so it's like, it's gonna start at 7, so we start at 7:10 because I hate especially with doing like improv and stuff. I hate when people come in when I'm starting more, in the middle of like after we do the name shit.
Oh yeah, well that's why you've done that. You've done that because there's some straggling fuckers that don't take it as seriously as you do. You know,
right? And I did, but I'm just thinking it's a way. It's amazing the perspective, like because like I said, especially because certain people are more emotional like that. And I'm not necessarily saying that like I'm not saying that it's because you should have just, but the way she probably sees it is like, motherfucker doesn't even give a shit about
hey,
me as a person, it's just about like, well, where are you coming to clean? When are you going to do this? It's like,
when I was actually told by one of my counseling professors, he said, yeah, you do come across like that. I said, oh shit. Like, really? Is that what I do? Like, I didn't know that. He's like, yeah. He's like, but here's the deal. You're originally from California. You're like from the North. You're one of those guys who's just strictly get to the point. Don't, just get, write a couple of lines on an email and get it out, get it done. He said, I know that about you. But if it's somebody brand new who doesn't know anything about you, they're going to be like, golly, how crass. What a jerk. Wow. And it's like, I'm not even being a jerk. You know what I mean?
Right. So you're just trying to get your point across.
I had to learn that every time I write an email, I have to kind of be a little more like, hey, how are you? How was your day? Blah, blah, blah. And just little stupid things that you have to put in there.
Right.
And it comes across just great after that.
Man.
But I just, like I said,
but it wasn't something that's innate. It wasn't something that's innate in me. Yeah, I don't normally talk like that, but I've actually learned how to do it.
Well,
so there's hope for you, Maxwell.
I wouldn't even. I think what I do works for me. I've seen positive results from what I do, so I see no reason to change it. I guess that's my point. You know what I'm saying?
But see, I think
until you lose a really good friend, and then you're gonna be like, what happened? What did I do?
or like and like the reason, like here's the thing, and this is on her or on other people too. It's like why didn't she call you?
That's the other thing.
Why didn't she?
That is 20 motherfucking 23.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have sent me a Facebook message. Your ass was on Facebook.
Easily.
Or even something a couple of days before, but she waited for you to come. And this is why I'm like, this is not a blame thing with you. I'm not going, you should have done. I'm saying it's interesting that you didn't think about anything about how she was doing. And that kind of proves her point too. Like, you were like, oh God, she hasn't commented me. She usually doesn't do this at all. Oh, whoa, hey, how's she doing? Is everything okay? You were like, oh, she didn't do this at all. Like, God damn it, my fucking.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, dude, there is no fucking reason why you can't. And that's my big thing. Okay, if this was back in the days where we had to send carrier pigeons or some shit, then I'd say, all right, you got a valid reason. But motherfucker, man, I mean, dude, there are so many ways to communicate now that you can't send me a message. Hey, listen, I'm not doing well, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And then from there, I'll say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Then you'll get your little sensitive McFucking.
And then you'll go, I will wait. I'm sorry to hear that. And then you wouldn't have thought about, whether she's going to go the next day or not. So it's like, but that's the thing. But the reason the thoughts of why she didn't do that was because she was already in that kind of state. She was already in that kind of pissed off state about how you're dealing with her for whatever reason.
Well,
and that's why she didn't comment. So it's like this fucking bullshit, like domino effect of bullshit over bullshit,
Well, but it's like
so funny how this
it ain't. I mean, anyone who knows me well, okay, you guys know me well, and I'm not about that shit. I'm not about feelings and is you okay? You want me to fuck all that, Like I'm a straight to the point ass dude, and what the fuck?
Okay. So would you compartmentalize your mother that way?
It depends on what it was. You know what I'm saying? Depends on if my mom was supposed to, I'm going to drive you here, or I'm going to take you to this place, and then you fucking just diss out on me, then I'm going to be like, what the fuck? What happened to you?
And then she tells you she's in the hospital.
Well, that's different. That's a different
Okay.
So it's like, man, dude. I don't know. I'm that way with everybody. I'm well,
not everybody. Not your mom. You wouldn't do that to your mom.
Well, like I said, if she had promised to do something for me and then just blew it the fuck off, then I'd be like, hey, mom, what happened? That would be my first thing. I wouldn't be thinking about, well, maybe I would. I don't know.
That's the thing. You'd be pissed off. You'd be pissed off first.
Yeah.
And then you would go, what the fuck is she? And then you go, well, she could have had something happen. Well, maybe she didn't. Maybe her phone got knocked out of her car when she ran into the fucking the criminals on the strip that are having her holding her hostage right now. You see her on TV and go, oh, well, you could have at least texted me. Oh, jeez, there she is. Oh, shit. Well,
one of those fuckers at least called me for ransom money. Shit. At least I know where she's at.
You call in, it's like, this is her son. And you're like, Mom, why did you call to get my shit this afternoon? Honey, I was in you could at least, told the news people to call me.
I don't know, man. No. It's a different thing for me. I just
oh man,
you're just like, I don't believe this. I think you got some rocky times brewing in that one, bro.
Yeah,
I think it's a two-way thing. Like you're like you're not. And this is not like you said your fault or anything, but you're not giving her what she wants in terms of the what happened, and all this, like.
If you want that, then fucking, I don't know.
And she's not giving you, the business side of it, because you're, like I said, you're compartmentalizing and saying, well, this is a business endeavor.
Well, you know what? When I'm paying you money, goddammit, fuck yeah, it's a business endeavor.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were just doing it for free, then hey, then I'd be like, okay, all right, you know, I got to take the dick.
I don't know.
But when I'm paying your bitch ass, you know,
is that another example of not fucking trying to do as little fucking business or deal with money with people that you know or care about?
Dude, that's another fucking this is why I hate lending fucking money to people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I don't like to lend money to people, for that fucking reason right there, dude. You know, because you're right. It turns the, you know, the friendship or relationship or whatever it is into this goddamn, you know, like business. Now I got to be the bully. I got to chase you down. You know what I mean?
And it's not even, it's in it that the scary, interesting part of the complicated part is that people see things differently. Like you see it as like I said, like this is a business transaction. This has nothing to do with our friendship.
Right.
Well, she doesn't see that. I can almost guarantee.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
You know, I think she's like, well, I'm doing this as a friend, but I'm also getting something for it. You know, while you know, it's like a mixture, like a bleh, well, you're like separated completely. Well, she doesn't separate them at all.
Yeah.
So when you don't say, "Hey, how are you doing?" She's like, "Fuck."
Well, just then, just the easy solution would be to just not do business with friends. It's fine.
And that's probably what needs to start happening. You know, you want it's kind of fucked up too, because on one hand, you want
to hook up your friends, right?
Right. Well, you want to help your friends out, and then also too, you know, you want to do business with people you trust, and you know, your close friends should be somebody you trust. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's one of the reasons why, like, we instinctively, both of us, don't get too involved in trying to market this shit too much and try to push this shit too much. Because we've seen it happen in the past, and you know what I'm talking about. Where you get into like a business, or you start doing, you know, back and forth, and then it's who's in charge? Because we need a leader.
Who's the boss here?
Who's the boss here? And then well, if we do get money from this, how much do I get and how much do you get? Well, I get all the people who did interviews. Well, I put the shows together.
Right. Then it gets messy.
Oh, God.
You know, like I say, like all that bullshit, like jockeying, because it's happened before in my life recently, and it's led to some people that I don't talk to anymore.
And it happened to me, you know, back with shit that irks me. We had, you know, fucking Miracle Moore doing her whole thing. Look, I wasn't mentioned.
Yeah, and it's exactly. It's also like, and once money comes into it, then it's like you start trying to compartmentalize, and then you can't, because you know it's interesting.
It's a foggy line, so yeah. Damn.
And, you know, like it's like when we have certain people like a Koala who
koalas that don't show the fuck up on time, you know.
So we're gonna all just like type, where the fuck are you? Like, I'm in the hospital.
No, that's knee-jerk reaction, man. That's knee-jerk. Don't do that.
You're fucking up our show.
Although we should talk shit about it.
I'm still calling bullshit on knee-jerk reactions.
Okay.
Because I honestly think that people use that like, oh, well, it wasn't my fault. It just had a knee-jerk reaction. It's like,
I don't use that as an excuse. You know what I'm saying? I don't even say, I just say a knee-jerk reaction, because sometimes, if anything, it can be a fault, because, oh man, I flipped the fuck out and I said some horrible shit that I shouldn't have. And it's bit me in the ass recently, you know, with certain situations.
But in the let's say in the digital age, in digital media and that sort of thing, right?
Right.
There is a little bit of a pause before you hit that send button that you can say to yourself, "Hey, you know, do I really want to send this out to?"
The question is, do you take that pause? You know, sometimes
sure,
I don't.
But the thing is that don't blame it on knee-jerk reaction when you can blame it on the fact that, hey, you know, I didn't pause. I just fucking just did it.
That pause is not going to make that much of a difference in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times
I would never blame that. I would never say, I'm sorry, I just had a knee-jerk I don't do that. But what I would say is, hey man, I you know, that's my knee-jerk reaction. That's what I do. And actually, if anything, it's kind of a negative, like, fuck, man. You know, that's why this time I controlled myself, and rather than saying something really fucking nasty, like, oh yeah, you were in the hospital? Well, how do you explain those Facebook posts? You know, or something. You know, I was like, I even said something to my assistant at work. I was like, I told her what was going on, and I said, you know what? I said, I think she goes, well, you know, she was in the hospital. I was like, let me just take some time to cool off before I respond. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? And I still haven't said anything to her, which is funny. So, you know, she didn't say, it's not like she said anything as it got closer today. Like, hey, I'm still cleaning your house on Saturday, and I'm going to buy you lunch to make it up. And see, that's the other thing too. You shouldn't have to make shit up to people. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, none of us ever had to make anything up to each other, and we've known each other for shit 40 fucking years. So
normally not. You know, I mean,
we've never had to make shit up to each
maybe
other.
Maybe she got hammered and or something. But then again, she could say that to you. She go, I'm sorry. But then again, you'd be more. Now here's another question though for you. Would you be more pissed off if she said, I'm sorry, I totally spaced it and got whatever, when she actually gave you a reason, like that's probably the truth, like she just forgot, or she had something else and she just didn't, would you be satisfied with that answer?
That's a good question. That's a good question, actually. I don't know. I'm maybe not. I might see that as well, although it's not a because people will always say some life or death shit to make it sound like,
they always got to make it so.
I had AIDS for a day, man. It was fucked up, dude. I
was terminally ill for a day. They said I had 23 hours to live, but I didn't die.
Yeah.
And then they realized it was a misdiagnosis.
Yeah, it's always really fucking life or death is shit, whatever. It's never just if somebody would just say, hey, look, I'm sorry. I just spaced it. I got no excuse for you. I don't know. I might look a little more favorably at that, actually. So I don't know. It's hard to say, because if you straight up say that, I got no excuse for you. I fucked up, man. I at that point you just took the dick. So if you took the dick, then hey, nothing I can do. I can't. I'm gonna get mad at you for being honest. So
because sometimes things do happen and people do screw up and they might maybe forget, but they can't
fuck
just
up.
go, well, I fucked up. Sorry,
Yeah.
So I think what you're saying is that she gave you a bullshit excuse, so that's why you're like, fuck her. Is that kind of what it's like?
Yeah, and the fact that,
which I guess I get.
Well, and we do have social media now, so you really can't say, oh, I had this happen, and then all of a sudden you post some pictures, and then people are saying, oh, that's beautiful.
That's why I don't post nothing.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
So, social media, man, it's oh man, makes me. I've realized I've been noticing more of my anxieties lately, and I've noticed that getting in front of the computer and going on certain social medias makes me. I can literally feel the cortisol or whatever. It's like
cortisol.
Yeah.
Cortisol is the
or it's like
anxiety. Cortisol is the anxiety hormone, basically.
It's stress hormone.
Stress hormone. So it's like you almost feel it, like you're like going on certain things, because half the time people are arguing, or you're seeing some shit that reminds you of something else,
or some news related shit,
or someone like oh what's going on? Oh man, like this month, it's I'm dealing with my stepdad's passing and everything. Oh, Tina Turner's dead. Oh shit.
Right. Yeah, but the thing about social media is that you do have control over what you like. If you don't want to see that, then scroll away from it and move on.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't want to see the whole Tina Turner death. I don't want to see the whole how her family feels about it and all that shit, because I'm going through my own shit, and so I'm gonna scroll right past that shit because it gives me too much feelings and shit. So it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go right past that. And it's almost like if you don't like what you hear on the radio, turn the fucking dial, right?
Well, that's true.
It's the same thing.
True, but it's just, I think it's the nature of a lot of social media. Like, I don't know if you're on Twitter or not.
No, but I've wanted to, but then you scared me to not do it.
Well, and here's the thing: it's like everything's an argument there. Everything's a statement in an argument. Almost everything. There's no like, hey, like you can find like all like there's like if you go on there, it's all like CNN will post some bullshit, and then the responses are all like, "Fuck CNN, fuck."
But it might be the motherfuckers. It might be the motherfuckers you're following too.
No,
man,
no. It's the nature of it. I'm telling you, man. It's the nature of it. Like, Facebook is better in some ways because at least you see a lot of people showing the pictures of their family on vacations and stuff like that, which can be a negative to some people.
Right.
But to me, that doesn't bug me. Like that shows me something about you when you get pissed off. Why is my life like that? Like you're seeing happy people like me. I'm like, oh, I'm seeing happy people online. Oh, cool. My cousins are all are at Disneyland with their parents, and They're all looking happy, look like they're having a good time. That's awesome, you know.
Right.
But a lot of people go, they go, well, one of the problems with social media is that you see so much happiness going on, and you think that's the way your life's supposed to be. And for me, it's like, I don't know. I think it's better than fucking showing, you know, like fucking political bullshit all the time or trying to antagonize. So
yeah, or there are those negative motherfuckers too on Facebook that, you know, everything they post is an argument, you know, like to bait somebody into an argument or something. Yeah. You know, so
or, you know, and I'm like I said, not everyone, because there's some people that just I mean, there's a certain person on there is always showing like the great things they're doing, you know.
Oh yeah,
like oh, this is I worked at a blah blah blah. I worked at a homeless shelter today. You know, it's like, all right, great. You know, that's what you know.
Well, they're doing it for Jesus points. Is what they're doing.
Points, you know.
You know. So,
but you're right though. You're right, Lou. It's definitely a learn. It's just like any kind of learn. It's like switching the channel with anxiety, like in your mind, like making a conscious decision to say, I'm not going to think about this. But you gotta think about it because it's work. No, you don't. You know it's bullshit.
You really don't.
You know it's a fucking worry. You know it's all you're doing is creating the anxiety yourself. But it's something I need to worry about. What if my mom has an accident? You know, now after my stepdad passed away.
But it's the thing. The thing is that it's a rabbit hole that you can choose to climb into or choose to be like, fuck that, I'm avoiding that rabbit hole right now.
Well, cruise control has a story, I think, right?
Yeah, man? I got a story here. So yeah, we'll go into this.
Let me tell you a story.
This is actually kind of related to knee-jerk reaction, because in a way it was like a reaction because I was in such a negative space a couple weeks ago, you know. At this time that it just kind of and the result of this kind of snapped me in the face, like when they go, holy shit. And we're talking about the concept of catastrophizing, of thinking the worst possible thing that's happening, right? Or like going toward that most negative thing, you know. Oh, what if my mom passes away? What if one of my brothers something happens now after this happened? And it's like, dude, that's just a dead end thought. It's just like a catastrophe thought. Like that's the worst thing that could happen, and you know it could happen. But if it doesn't, all you're doing is worrying about shit that's just fucking awful. But okay. So anyways, it's my stepdad passed away on the 9th, and it's my birthday. And I'm actually doing a little nothing sacred with Max here. And at the end of it, I didn't know if he knew, but I was like, at the end of it, I'm scrolling up, I'm just like talking to him, but I'm scrolling on Facebook. And I'm like, oh, it's they're looking for something, you know, or just actually trying, I'm posting something for my improv group because I had a class that weekend. And I see my stepdad has a Facebook account on his own. And I see on my stepdad's Facebook account the words, I lost. That's all, in large, I lost. Now, there's a number of things that could have happened here. But immediately, I think, oh my God, somebody hacked my stepdad's account. And I start going, what the hell? Because people are responding, you lost? What are you talking about? What do you mean? Explain, please. Because it says I lost, and I'm like, this is a hack. Somebody hacked the account, and of course at the time I thought, you know, my bro might be sleeping, so I could have called him and just like said, dude, you know, look, dude, somebody, you know, and of course, like, I'm that whole night basically from now, so I'm fucking just, I'm losing my shit, just like, oh my God, this is horrible. How could somebody do this? How could somebody blah blah blah? You know,
and it had to be somebody that knew him, obviously, because he's just had died.
No, or it could be, it could be, or somebody got. This is where I went. This is where my mind was. I was like, somebody got into the record. Somebody found out. It's like they posted this somewhere, like, or somebody or somebody's just a sick bastard, you know, or whatever. Blah 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 blah. Right. So I'm not sleeping. I'm fucking tripping. I'm just not sleeping that night. Next day I get up and I'm like, I gotta call my brother. You know, I gotta fucking tell him what happened, because I don't want my mom to go, oh my God, I can't believe someone would do this to us. You know, because I'm thinking I lost the battle. I lost, you know, I lost. Like someone's like being a dick, like, oh, I lost, you know, like being obscure, you know, being, obscure I'm looking for? Yeah. Obscure or just being like weird, like
right. Just cutting.
So I call my brother and he goes, oh dude, that's crazy. So an hour later he goes, dude, I walk out in the living room and the laptop on the table is open. Was open this morning, and apparently my mom was trying to write something on Facebook under her account, like I lost somebody, you know, I lost
I lost someone who was a great man or whatever.
She couldn't find a way to get out of his account and accidentally pressed enter on his account. So
and all it posted was I lost.
I lost.
Oh, shit.
So I'm losing my shit that night, like previous night. And I'm fucking losing my goddamn, like, this is fucking unbelievable. I can't believe somebody would do this fucking shit. This is fucking horrible. This is a nightmare. For no fucking reason. Because I catastrophize. I went to the worst possible space. I went to the worst possible space, and I think I think a lot of it has to do with I wasn't sleeping very well. No.
Oh, we got it. Koala, welcome to the party. Let's see.
Give her a second. Yeah.
It says unknown though. That's interesting. I wonder why it says unknown.
She's probably on her phone.
It's not iPhone this time around.
Yeah, it doesn't say iPhone. It just says unknown. Maybe maybe it is a hacker for real. It's gonna be like
I'm so pissed off that I just explained this story.
Hey, you told the story, but yeah, no, that's a big thing. Like, but I think it's
don't talk about my people like that.
Hey, you fucking Dune Coon, you called me earlier today.
No, but like, yeah, so it's like it's very interesting how I perceve that.
Unknown left.
Yeah, the unknown left.
She's probably
like,
having issues.
Why are you talking?
Or she's all pissed off, like it's like fuck you guys, you know. She's probably trying to get back on.
Yeah.
But like the way it's just interesting where my mind went because it was in that dark space. Like I didn't have a very good couple of weeks. It was up and down the whole time. So I think I just naturally was just I don't know what, you know, I was in the habit of portraying that in the worst possible way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, well, and but it's easy to do, man, especially in today's environment. It's always because I find myself thinking the worst shit sometimes, you know, like, and then of course it spirals. It goes from, oh, then this, and what about that? And oh my God.
Well, not when your friend's in the hospital.
Yeah.
Hey, that's her shit. I'm talking about what's happening to me. But
no, but it's true though. Like that, and I think that's
the first hospital that's outdoors on a beach or some shit like that.
Okay, I don't know because like I don't want to make any assumptions. I don't know. Maybe it is there.
Well, but you know, it's easy, but it is easy to do, man. It is easy to think the worst possible scenario will happen if you do this, you know, and I've had that happen too. You know what shit I was thinking today? You guys are going to laugh at me. Okay. So I had these new people coming over, you know, I really didn't know them. I knew they were, you know, Hispanic, whatever, but,
oh, there we go.
Yeah,
I'm laughing already. Okay.
So no, here's what it was though. So I just saw them like, because okay, now here's a bad stereotype, but like a lot of times foreigners, okay, tend to think like I remember back when my place went into foreclosure and I had a landlord and there was people looking at it and there was another Filipino couple and the guy was like, how do you get up and down the stairs? How do you live by yourself? And he was so amazed that I live by myself. You know what I'm saying? So I could see them coming over here going, he lives by himself. I think we should probably contact fucking, you know.
Oh, you're getting that
Adult
crazy.
Protective Service.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm like, what kind of stupid? And then once I thought it over, I was like, that's fucking dumb. But the fact that I even thought that, you know what I'm saying?
And like the thought that I could have, I would have just called my brother. Like about, you know, right after it happened. Instead of going, I would have fucking, I mean, I literally didn't sleep. I slept like complete shit. Like I was completely fucking pissed off. And I was like, and I get it. And it's just a lesson like, man, it's just no good for you. I wasted that whole night, a good night's sleep that I probably could have got, or at least somewhat better sleep. Just fucking so fucking distressed over something that never even happened. That wasn't even close to happening. You know, but man. I went that deep, and I think that's
that's part of figuring out how to, for lack of a better word, decatastrophize is to find evidence to the contrary.
Yeah. Well, but he wasn't doing that. He had his mind made up pretty much.
I know. That's what I'm saying, though. Like if he were in his, you know, well, one, the sleep deprivation has something to do with it. For sure.
Yeah. Sleep deprivation is never good.
Oh yeah. It does. It screws up your decision-making process. So of course, you know, you're gonna make silly decisions that don't make any sense. And like
And then there's the grief.
In hindsight, it's like, oh, well, maybe if I would have had a little bit more sleep, maybe I wouldn't have jumped to that crazy conclusion in the first place, for one.
Right.
But even if let's just say you can't help yourself from jumping to that conclusion, right? You just automatically, it's a knee-jerk reaction. There you go. There's your knee-jerk. All right. So you jump to that conclusion, right? But then the next thing that you can do is say, well, what's the evidence for this? Who can I call? Can I call my brother? Is it too late to call him? Or can I call my mom? Can I call somebody and say, hey, can you take a look at this for me? Because something looks a little shady.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Well, should have been his plan to begin with. Like, shit, I should just call my brother and see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. Sure. You know? But it's all about looking for evidence to the content. If it's something that you're worried about and you're like, oh no, somebody you feel yourself going down that rabbit hole and you're like, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. There's other people that can help me figure this out. Like maybe it's like just a visual issue that I thought I was seeing something that I wasn't seeing, or whatever it is, right?
Right.
And it could be like, you know what? Let me ask somebody else. Let me verify. Let me have somebody verify. And then had he done that, then he would have maybe possibly, had a good night's sleep the next night,
Somewhat nice. And like I said, it's also definitely the grief part of it.
Oh, sure.
Because I think one of the most interesting things about grief is that it makes you think the worst is going to happen because the worst just happened.
Right.
Sure.
So
like you're thinking, oh, what could possibly happen now? The worst things happen. It's all going to. If something else happened now, it'd be so much more awful because something just happened now.
Yeah. True. Like to compound the thing, like you're thinking, oh. Only thing, because people always say that only thing that could be worse now is if fucking, a plane flies through the window or something. And then
like I mentioned before, another family member passes away. Like who's there? Like right there. Cause that can happen. Anything can happen. Right.
Sure. Oh yeah.
But it's just, and that's one of the weirdest things that people don't think about grief is that you get scared that other people are going to die. Mm-hmm. I think that's a common thing with grief, right? And I would assume. I mean, it's something that I experienced.
I mean, here it is. You did lose your real dad, so then you're like, oh, now it's my fucking stepdad. So then you're like, oh shit, only person left is my mom. So if I lost her, oh god,
exactly. It's like this crazy ass domino effect, and that's catastrophizing as well. And the problem with that catastrophizing is there's no proof to go on. Well, what's the proof that she could slip on she could fucking a scorpion?
All right. Yeah. Well, you can also think this. I mean, I might sound like a jerk by saying this.
It's a knee jerk.
If I'm insensitive, I apologize.
No, it's all good.
Beforehand, now I can say whatever I want. No,
it's your knee jerk reaction, man.
No, but what I'm saying is that. How awful can it be? Like, yes, your stepdad passed away, and it's highly possible. I mean, in your lifetime, your mom will pass away too.
At some point.
I mean, we as human beings, we think, oh, we're gonna live forever, or my parent is gonna outlive me. Is that really ever actually true? No. Unless you get shot or something crazy happens, right?
Right.
Unless,
or you get
something. You get sick or something, then sure, you die before your parent. But most of the time, it goes in that direction. Your parents are going to die before you, and it's almost like, okay, I don't want it to happen, but if it does, is it going to be unbearable? Am I going to just be like, oh my god, life is so catastrophic that I'm just going to, I don't know, kill myself or do something silly like what's going to happen? I mean, the worst that's going to happen is you're going to grieve your mother too. And I mean, it's not, I mean, I'm not trying to be like, well, just don't worry about it. No. That's not what I'm trying to say. But what I'm saying is that sometimes when you go down that rabbit hole and you say, you know what? Okay, that would be the worst thing if my mom died too. Like immediately after my stepdad. Like that would suck. That would suck balls, right? That would suck really badly.
But and I've heard that happening.
Will it be entirely unbearable? Will you be able to withstand it? Probably.
Right. Yeah. You will survive, I guess is the point.
Yeah, you'll survive. And the thing is that it's like, I think what we do when we catastrophize is we say, that would be so unbearable. It would be so hard for me to deal with. And it's like, well, it's probably as hard as you dealing with your dad and your stepdad right now. It's hard. It's not easy, right?
Right.
And your mom's death adding to that would be a little bit or possibly a lot more difficult. But at the same time, would it be entirely unbearable to where you're just like, oh, fuck it all. I'm just going to just end my life, or I'm going to just go off the rails.
It's
probably not.
Yeah, it's all the other things involved in it. Like, what about the house and how we deal with this and that? It's just piling on yourself. It's a weird.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you'll deal with that when it comes, right?
Yeah.
Like my mom, she passed away, and like that's just like 10 years ago. But at the same time, I didn't know if she had life insurance. I had no idea. She was so young. She was like 61. And I'm like, I don't know what she has and what she and everybody's like, well, you're the next of kin, so you have to make all the decisions. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Well, that's the scary thing too. You know,
I have no idea what I'm doing. And it's like, okay, well, I just got to take it step by step. Does she have life insurance? And we found out that she did. And it was enough to at least bury her. And I was like, great. Like all I got to do is contact the life insurance company and, make sure that her boyfriend at the time, who was the beneficiary, is willing to like give up the goose,
the scary thing. And see, I don't even like to, like fuck around with shit like that, because I'm like, the superstitious side of me goes, well, if I'm dabbling and then trying to set that up, maybe that means it's gonna, I'm gonna die soon or some shit. You know what I mean?
Well, that's your superstitiousness right there.
That's what I say. It's stupid.
Well, and I just find it so interesting how grief just hits you in different ways, like for different people.
Oh yeah.
Like some people are more like, it's better. He's in a better place. And,
sure.
He's in the better. He's not suffering anymore, which is true. Me, I'm going, fuck, man, it just reinforces that we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's some truth to it, right? There's some truth to it.
Oh, sure.
It does. I mean, I remember one time watching. I'm a Twilight Zone buff, and I was watching a Twilight Zone episode, and there was one guy who somehow miraculously was supposed to live forever, right?
Oh, okay.
He had this basically some chemist created a situation where he could live forever, and he said, but it sucks. And the guy's like, why? And he goes, because it's death that gives life its meaning. And I was like, oh snap!
Oh,
all
shit!
Right.
Okay,
cool.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if I agree with that or not.
Yeah, but I think I do agree with that.
Cool.
Because I mean, we're all
you can't have life
without
death, right? You know what I'm saying?
We're all headed to that place, whether we think we're gonna do it or not.
Although, truth be told, man, if there was some technology out there where I could preserve myself and repair myself and shit, I would do it. I would totally.
But who's to say that you would actually, like, if you were to survive? Because that's actually at the end of the episode, some lady who used to be his wife shoots him and he dies.
Yeah, because you will always. Because here's the thing: at some point, you're going to die.
Right.
Even if you have the computer chip that's the sun explodes, you're dead. Because the computer that holds your chip is fucking destroyed.
Right.
So it doesn't solve the real problem. The real problem is fear of dying. It's fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
It's fear of not having a consciousness afterwards. A fear of not knowing. At least for me, it is like that.
Man, Koala's missing a lot of action right now.
Yeah,
man.
well, I feel like I said, I think she jumped in, but it said unknown.
We're hitting some deep thoughts over here, man.
I know. Shit. Yeah, we're talking about life and death and all kinds of shit.
Because that's a big deal for a lot.
Some of the fear for me too is like what those around me, like if they can't get a hold of me and where the fuck is he and how they would get to me and figure out finally that I was dead, or just all these crazy and hey, I people say, oh, they died in their sleep, they died peacefully. I'm sure there's still a little bit of discomfort that sucks for a half a second at least. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Who knows, man? That's the thing. Nobody really knows. That's the hard thing for certain people to take. Certain people like that comfort.
Let's go ask a dead nigga.
Tupac.
Yeah, hey Tupac, how was it, man? Actually, he hung on for what, 7 days, was it? Before he died?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
God. Okay. See, and that's the thing. I'm still in the point where it's like, oh, do we really want to continue to talk about this? And something I just got to deal with, though. You know, like it's and and even when there's good news going on, it's like, yeah, but still, it's gonna end anyway. Yeah,
and it is. But the thing is that what do you do in the interim between life and the what are they between the dashes, right? What they say.
Well, and cry until it's over. She's like,
well, yeah, and if you focus all on the negative, then when it is that death time, you're like, damn, I could have enjoyed life, but instead I sat and worried about fucking dying.
Yeah,
the whole
correct.
time. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or other people having issues or anything like that. But I think also a part of it is like I psychoanalyze myself all the time. And and I think a lot of it is like, what's wrong with me, dude? What's wrong with you? You just lost someone you care about deeply.
Of course,
that's it. That's it, dude. There's no more like, well, maybe I'm clinically depressed, maybe I'm this, but dude.
No. So
back,
let me explain that a little bit too. In the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, it actually says when you're talking about major depressive episodes, you have to exclude grief. So you have to like actually talk to the client and be like, hey, has anybody recently like passed away, or are you going through like relationship grief or some sort of grief? And if you are, then that's probably why you're depressed.
Right.
So we're not going to call you
and say you're clinically depressed or something.
A clinically depressed individual. We're going to call you a person who's dealing with grief.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool because it's like, so I'm not depressed. I'm just normally dealing with grief because that's how it normally works.
And this is how you compartmentalize again. You know what I'm saying? Where you say, bring it full circle, man. But no, it's like when, if you can put your finger on the reason for your depression, well, I'm not getting any jobs, or I just broke up with a chick that I'm really into, then you know why you're dealing with that depression.
Okay. So, and that's the difference between I call it, and I don't think it's something that anybody else has coined. I call it circumstantial depression. Right? We got circumstantial depression, which is basically I can't find a job right now. I'm down on my luck. Blah blah blah. I just lost a chick. Whatever. Right? I just lost my stepdad. All these things. Right? Mm-hmm. Those are circumstances, because if those circumstances weren't there, would you be depressed? No,
you'd still be happy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But see, there is, and I've seen it in real life, there is depression for no fucking reason at all.
Well, the story you told about your wife.
That's clinical. Yeah, right? That's clinical.
The story you told about your wife, where she said, I can't tell you why I'm crying. I'm just crying. I'm, some
man,
shit.
You got a good memory, man. I thought
I remember that.
I remember that shit.
I was thinking about that myself, because I was actually evaluating myself against that. Because I'm like, why am I just waking up to like, fucking God, this sucks every fucking day for,
right.
And it's been, and I think also it's a form of habit. Like the last couple of months have been hard. This whole year, and the last couple of months has been him in the hospital, up and down. Every day was a fucking roller coaster. And I think that causes some trauma that just doesn't go away. Like it's almost like being in
I think so.
In a nightmare situation,
I can't stand hospitals. I hate them.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. You don't want to stay
actually seeing him when he wasn't looking good and that kind of thing. It's traumatic in a certain way, and it just doesn't go away. And you have to kind of like.
I mean, my wife works in a hospital, so I guess I should be grateful.
But
she makes a ton of money through the hospital.
Sure. Well, that's fine. She can go to the hospital. You don't have to.
But I don't like stepping foot in the hospital.
Like, hey, man, you go to the hospital, get that money. Get that money. I don't want to be in that bitch, okay?
Yeah. Like, keep me out of it, Spend all that money you get from the hospital, keep me out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But
But, and I think cruise control, too, you have, you're kind of programmed now, because that's how life's been for the past couple months for you. So now you're like, damn. I got life is shit when I wake up feeling, you know what I'm saying? Just because that's how you're so conditioned to think.
Okay, but what do you do afterwards? Like
that's
because you can choose to stay in the wallow.
Yeah, in the wallow.
You can choose to stay there if you want to.
Right, but do you want to?
And some people choose to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess for a certain period of time, I think it's okay for you to choose to do that.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, people deal with grief in different ways. Like,
Right.
I
There's
didn't
no
cry.
timeline
I
on
didn't
grief.
cry.
I
I didn't cry when my mom died. Am I
Right.
a vicious psychopath? Do I not care about my mom? No,
No.
I care about my mom. It's just I see death as part of life, and it's like, well, she was going to go eventually, and it just happened to be her time. I guess that's just how it is.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
fuck do I? What can I do about it?
Well,
You know?
and that's I kind of have that too. But the things that fuck me up are like those untimely deaths.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like some of that, like honestly, cruise control. We remember that guy, Steve, that used to be in our improv group that died.
Yeah.
So when he died, it kind of fucked me up, man. Like that day, at least, I was just like, "Damn, what the fuck? Why?" You know what I mean? Like, because he was not a, he was like what? He was 36, 37.
Yeah, that's young,
You know what I mean?
man. Yeah.
So
that's and it's like I said, it's a whole bunch of different stuff, and especially since I knew it was happening, obviously it was a little different, and it was kind of a relief in a way because there was closure.
Right.
But it's also like a
still doesn't make it easier though.
No. But there is that I know, like with my one grandma, she had no quality of life. She had dementia and she wasn't eating and all this and that. So when she did finally go, there was almost like a sigh of relief, like, oh, good. She's not gonna, she now can enjoy existence, as it were. Well, not existence, but you know what I'm saying. Well, like now she can go to a new place, not have to be like that anymore.
And that's another thing, depending on whether you believe in other places.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like, some people don't believe in that, and so there's no hope. It's just like, oh, they're dead and they're rotting in a box right now.
And maggots are eating at them.
No, I mean, honestly, that's actually how I used to believe. So that's a sad situation when you think about it. It's like, oh, they're dead. There's no return. There's no nothing.
And I'm kind of on that. Yeah, I'm kind of on in that zone myself. I'm definitely more in that zone than they're floating around in some clouds somewhere, like fucking just dancing in the fucking forest.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that there's not continuation. Like there could be a scientific, in my mind, like quantum physics type thing, or whoever knows, or even a religious thing. I'm not one to, but it definitely makes it harder, and I can see why people turn to religion and
in those times.
Because you want to believe that the best happened for that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. And you want to, and it's just, and also the pressure of just worrying about that kind of thing is a really big worry. It's the biggest worry that people really have in a lot of ways.
The sucky thing is that, there's going to be times where you're going to think of your stepdad and just start bawling out of control. Like, what the hell? Why was I doing that? Why did I do that? My wife's grandfather, it's coming on 20 years now this year. And I swear, if I start mentioning something about her grandmother, my wife graduated with her bachelor's in nursing, and her grandmother is still alive, but her grandfather passed away for 20 years. And she gave her some sort of picture. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
And she said, your grandfather would be proud of you. Crying out of control. Just wow. And it's like, and she didn't know that she was going to cry like that. It just all of a sudden it just came.
It's involuntary, huh? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and it's been 20 years. You would think, oh, come on, 20 years?
Nah.
Get over it, right? Right? But no. That's the thing.
It can really fuck with people. Yeah, it can change your whole perspective.
And the cool thing is that if 20 years from now you still have that feeling, just know that you're not in the abnormal range. You're not like, what the hell's wrong with me, man? That was 20 years ago.
Right. Exactly.
It happens to a lot of people that way, where grief is very
everybody reacts different, man.
It's very individualized. Very individualized.
Yep. Well, see, that's the other thing I don't like is when people will be critical of how somebody's grieving.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they'll say
whether they don't or whether they do. Like,
right. Exactly.
My wife used to mess with me. She used to mess with me a little bit. She'd say, "Are you serious?" Because there was one time I I cried at a movie. It was called A Dog's Purpose.
I think I remember that story, that movie.
So it was called It was called A Dog's Purpose, and the dog went through all this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, he recognized his owner, and the owner recognized him. I said, "Oh yeah, they recognize each other. That's awesome."
So it brought a tear
the
to your
movie's
eye.
the movie's over, and there's like a couple of tears in my eye. My wife turns to me, she goes, "Are you fucking crying?"
Well, you know what? That
But
movie
I was thinking of my little guy Max right here.
Yeah.
He's the
You
little
talking about
guy
me?
right here.
Oh, you're talking about the dog. My bad.
This dog. Dog Max. His name is Max too.
You talking about Max the dog or Max the
Max.
goat? So, no,
I don't know about that goat. He might be an old goat.
Yeah, that I am an old goat. God damn it, proud of it too. But yeah, man, no, everybody has a different reaction. Like, sometimes people will get upset with you. You didn't cry. Aren't you sad that the person? Hey, look, man, I'm gonna deal with this shit my own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
so she gave me crap because she goes, "Are you crying about the dog and you didn't cry at your mother's funeral?" I'm like, "Hey, man."
Just watch that?
Start your engine differently.
Yeah, that's funny. You know I mean? That's funny. People are different that way, and people also, some people just don't like to don't like to show emotion in front of other people. And I think emotion
I'm that way.
I think emotion is good in some ways, but I think over emoting is also a problem.
Oh God, when people are so flushy gushy and they're just like,
like I'm just talking about personally, like I think I realize at this point, like, all right, you need to step back a little bit. There's some good things that have happened in Vegas, around my family recently. Just obviously it's still hard, but things are going fine. Everything is stable. So just step back and take a deep breath, and just go, okay, get out of flight or fight zone, man.
And you were kind of on the fence about I want to say it's your brother, but I could be wrong. Who was going through his own shit, and did that turn out better than you expected? Or
it's all right.
He's kind of touch and go there.
Yeah, touching. I mean, he's depending on what he's learning from his mistakes.
Well,
okay.
But you have
no control. I was trying to find a silver lining, but I wasn't.
But like I said, but there's other things I was worried about that I couldn't do anything about.
Right.
It's just like I said, it's all about control. A lot of it. Not all, but a lot of it is about what can I control? You can't. Everything's not going to stay the same. You want things not to change. Everything changes. Things always happen. Weird shit comes up. As Rick Springfield said, there's always something. Remember that song?
Yeah. Oh yeah. God, yes.
Yeah, that song. There's always some shit going on, but but
true
it's not. A lot of it's nothing you can do about it. And that's the thing. The same thing with death. There's nothing you can do about anything like that. Obviously you can make a choice not to go and run in the middle of the street to chase the ball when it's in the middle of a busy intersection. But in terms of like walking down the street, you could slip on a crack and you break your back, or and
all kinds of shit could happen.
Then you get infected. But that's the thing; it doesn't matter.
You get infected on your leg.
Exactly. You fall over a planter in your friend's front yard, and you get a fucking thing on your leg.
Or my friend, or he's like, it's almost healed, and then a week later, you're like fucking in the hospital with fucking some crazy ass shit.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, I'm going to the wound care, going.
It's like it ripped open again because you don't know.
Just to give our audience a little context on that too. Well, I mean, they know what's up because you and I talked about it last time, but it is healing. It's starting to close up. So the doctor still wants me to keep the bandage on for another couple weeks. Oh, of course they change it. They change the dressing, but just to be sure, because I don't want to be that dude who gets almost close to healed and the motherfucker busts open and then you've got problems again. You know what I mean? So right now it's looking good. Everybody who sees it, all the medical professionals, they're all just like, yeah, it looks really good. Just to give you some perspective, like I gave these guys off the air, it was 2.6 centimeters when I first went in. And now it's down to 0.7 centimeters. So it is closing up. It's getting smaller. So
that's good.
Just got to be
positive. But you were going to say something
positive?
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was going to say on a different note, have any of you guys had a near death experience?
No, really.
Not the traditional sense in terms of
I've never been close to
where
dead,
you see the tunnel of light or your heart stops.
No, not that. but just well, I'll tell you. I stepped off a curb one time and a truck went zoom right in front of me. I was like, holy shit.
Oh, that
Oh,
happened to me.
those kind of things. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. There have been
yeah.
a few situations where I've been like, damn, that
I'm
could have
like,
fucking.
oh man.
Well, I'll tell you, my dad had this file cabinet. It was, one of those tall file cabinets come up to about your chest, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the fuck I was. Now, keep in mind, I'm like 7 years old. I'm opening all the
Sure.
drawers and on shit. And somehow the thing fell the fuck over on top of me. And, thank God there was a desk chair right there that stopped the thing from completely crushing me. But yeah, dude, that was some scary shit. You know what I mean?
About a couple weeks ago, I was going to the store, and I was because I was tired, and I was like, it was like right when I got back, like I said from Vegas, and then it was still stuff was going on, and the light, I was standing at the light waiting for it to change to go across the street.
Yep.
It goes, and it was the one going the other way.
Oh,
and
no.
I almost started walking right into the fucking street. And I was like, wait, whoa.
Oh,
damn.
yeah.
That could have been close.
See, and you don't walk with a cane like we do. So there's no,
oh shit.
There's no like the cars aren't going to stop for you. They're just going to be like, oh, well, this guy's just a dead fuck.
You know what I've heard? You know what I've heard is you can actually get a ticket for not identifying yourself as a blind or visually impaired person. Huh. Somebody told me that. I don't know how the truth to that.
What kind of liberal minefield is that?
Yeah, serious.
I had a mobility instructor say that to me one time. Well, if you don't have your cane, that you can actually, if you get hit by a car, you didn't identify yourself as a blind person. I'm like, what the fuck?
Why does that make a difference?
And it shouldn't. Well, you're right. It's like,
I mean, okay, so I think I know how it makes a difference. It's just stupid. So
like jaywalking because the light was red and yeah.
Well, you shouldn't jaywalk anyway.
The thing is that okay, if a blind person is in the middle of the street and he has a cane, well then he's a blind guy, so obviously, of course, he didn't know the light was red because they don't know how we cross streets, right? They don't know how we use parallel traffic and surges and all that kind of stuff, right? They don't know. They don't know about that.
Be out there walking around if you don't know.
Of course. But what I'm saying is, how does the sighted society look at us? So if we identify ourselves as blind, then we didn't know any better, and the driver is at fault.
Yes.
But if we don't identify ourselves as blind, then the driver didn't know, and so they hit you. Oh, well, you're the one in the wrong because you crossed the street at the wrong time, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's that lowered expectation shit again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Same bullshit. So, that's it. And that's
like what I said, it makes sense, but it's stupid at the same time.
But those people, like I said, there's certain people that want you to identify as blind anyways. All the
time.
You know
what? You need to get. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna. Well, I don't want to say it on here. I'll say it when we go off the air. What kind of box you should get into? They want you with your box. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you just said it on the air.
Well, no. There's something a little bit better.
Okay. Well, let's. Yeah, let's.
It rhymes with trigger socks.
Okay. Anyway, so what else? What else we got? So we got all the doom and gloom and stuff.
Hey,
like
man,
that.
I gotta. Here it is. My ritual.
You mean trigger? TRIGGA.
Yeah, trigger. No, trigger. Well, no, because it's you need.
But, to get let's go. Go ahead and go piss.
Why, you want me to say it? Shit.
No, we want to keep the show on the air. Actually,
I'll be glad to say it, but I know.
Well, let's go. So,
you know what? Do we ever get fucked with? Do we ever get any shit? We never do.
We could.
We never do that. Well, that's why I'm kind of happy. We don't get that many viewers, and it's like, who gives a shit? Nobody gives. Oh, damn.
Go take your fucking piss, and
I'm gonna take a piss. You guys keep talking, and I'll come back, and we'll keep going.
Yeah, check your maybe Koala was having issues. Maybe we can.
Oh no, I got my phone in my pocket. It doesn't. It hasn't.
Oh well. We got our show going.
We're rolling. So Koala, you
just make sure that you put it on mute when you're taking a piss. We don't want to hear
I'm not
that.
gonna be like dude on on Naked Gun.
Farting and shit. So anyway, but I also think I know. Well, Max is. I don't know if he's still there, but if he goes and pisses. But I was also thinking, like, it's also you think about your mind is different than your body, and sometimes it takes time for shit to heal, for your mind to get back on into like an actual chemically balanced after this kind of thing, because it really knocks you for a loop in a lot of ways.
I think so.
So it's like almost got to be patient, just give yourself time. For all these thoughts, like, because it definitely is I'm getting better at managing my anxiety from it,
right.
and I'm
but
not going.
But if somebody tells you there's a certain time frame to get well or to get back to quote unquote normal, they're either stupid, lying to you, or just out of their fucking mind. Yeah. Because it's not true. It's everybody, like we've always said, everybody heals in different ways. So it's like, well, if it takes you 5 years, it takes you 5 years. Who cares? Like, if it takes you 2 months, then great. Good for you. I'm happy for you. Either way, whatever it takes.
Yeah, it's making it's definitely like changed my perspective on certain things. Like, there's certain people that I have not been talking to for a while. And I'm like, you know what? This life's kind of short, and making amends or having some closure is probably a good thing. So I'm looking to do that. Yeah. And just also, like I said, just I think another part of it is, we all know this, the Nothing Sacred group out there, the people who follow us, about the fact that I've been, kind of not drinking as much lately. Well, for a while I was
sort of sober, right?
sort of sober. Yeah. Well, for a couple of weeks before this happened, during the last couple of months, I was having, off and on because I was so stressed out. Yeah. Well, I basically picked the worst time possible to stop drinking, or the best time, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, depending on how you look at it.
Because I haven't drank since I came back, basically from Vegas. So it's been like 3 or 4 weeks now, or 3 weeks now. Yeah. And it's definitely interesting because.
Well, I've always said that the thing about, because everybody's like, why do you do counseling for addicts after the fact, after they get well, or after they're on the road to recovery, right? Mm-hmm. And I tell people, because life throws curveballs, just like it's thrown curveballs for you, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing that an addict wants to do is, I'm going back to my shit, because that's the way that I always dealt with my shit, is to go use my drug of choice and just be like, fuck it, I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to care about whether people are like, oh, you're going back to your drugs again. I don't care. That's how I deal with my stuff. So that's what I'm going to do.
And it kind of goes back to the thing I was saying earlier about, if it's worked for me all this time, then why the fuck should I change it or fix it? Right.
Right.
Here's the interesting thing.
But the thing about counseling is, let us give you a few more tools that you might be able to use instead of turning to the drug, so that you don't turn to the drug. When the inevitable happens, something makes you depressed or something makes you sad or something like that, and you're like, I want to go use again. It's like, wait a minute, wait. This counselor showed me another tool, another method of dealing with this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go do that instead. Let's go. Right. Let's do that. So
what I think is interesting though about that is, like, I make that joke. I picked the hardest time, but the funny thing is, like, I haven't had any really urge to.
Oh, like, good.
I've kind of had the opposite feeling, like, because usually what happens, the last couple of times I drank a lot, is that I feel absolutely terrible the next day, and I feel anxious, and I feel kind of like anxious and really anxious, and just sad, like doom and gloom, like that dread, sense of dread.
Right. Everything's bad.
And so I'm like, God damn, I have no desire to feel that right now. Like, nah. So I'm like, like, oh, I could have a drink.
Alcohol is not called a depressive drug for no reason.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Well, it'll probably just compound things, so.
But then it makes you anxious the next day because it shoots up your blood pressure and your cortisol.
Right.
So it makes you both at the same time. But the funny thing is, like, this whole thing is maybe like, just like, oh, I have no desire to feel that way anymore right now because I'm like, that's the last thing I.
That's just like an added shit that I have to deal with.
Right.
That's just because I know
that's a positive though, man. Because a lot of times people will lean on that as a crutch, like, oh, well, this is what makes me feel good. Let me just have a drink, man, and I'll feel better.
Yeah, but it's funny because the last time, couple of times I drank, I would drink and I'd be kind of feeling good. Like, yeah, and then I'd realize, oh, I'm going to feel like shit tomorrow. And the rest of the night would be shit. I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Wow.
And then I'm not, and then that's the last thing I need. So it's really interesting how that kind of affected it too. Like I had a turning point where I just don't feel any desire really right now. Just like,
right. You're just
like the consequences are kind of just,
it's good.
It's like
in a way.
Do I want to add another weight? It's like, you know what? Let's you've got a big gash in your back. Here, pour this salt right into it.
Right. Salt makes me feel good. It's supposed to clean you. Something.
So, but that's an interesting thing about
or alcohol.
Alcohol.
Or
alcohol in it.
Dump some alcohol in it.
Pour some malt liquor into that flesh wound.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Ooh, daddy.
Pour one out for your home.
Actually, you know what? That shit, malt liquor's got so much chemicals in it. I'm sure it would clean out that that injury.
Probably.
I don't know. You should try it on your leg.
Yeah, try it on your leg, man.
Yeah, I'll dump it on my leg here and see what happens.
This thing went from 0.7 to 3.5. How did it get? Well,
oh, that's the alcohol volume, is what that was.
The alcohol volume. Oh man, so that's just interesting how you think about how you, and if you really look at yourself and kind of pull back, you start seeing triggers and things like that trigger anxiety, and it's like, wow, you learn a lot about yourself in times of hardship,
or things that even trigger, like react. When we go back to knee-jerk reactions. And you guys were talking earlier about the group, they want you in your group, identify yourself as a blind person. The other day I had somebody who knew me and we're pulling up to a place and they said, oh, well, good seeing you again. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh, I thought we were at the blind center. I thought we were dropping you off. And I'm like, how the fuck would I be going to the blind center? And I wanted to just have say some really sarcastic shit, because I do get really insulted when people, think that I go to the blind center and hang out with my peoples is.
Yeah, but maybe they thought you were working there, man. Maybe you were an employee at the blind center.
That's of course, I something. I have something. I have some affiliation with that, but I'm trying to not make smart ass remarks and fucking, you know what I mean? Like, you're not letting your anger take over. Oh yeah. Cause that's, we got one friend that's been kind of giving me shit about, you're too hard on sighted people and you're too, and I'm like thinking, dude, you went to that retard school and they told you a bunch of like propaganda, cause he went to one of those, tard schools where you learn how to be a blindo,
You're not done the tard schools. Oh no, where'd Louie go?
I don't know. Hey, Louie, you still here? Don't tell me his phone died too. What? Everybody's dropping off, man?
No, sir. No, sir.
Oh, there he
I'm
is.
here.
Here he is. Okay. I was like,
I was just on mute.
Oh, okay.
He's like, man, because that's another thing. You're making us. I mean, those they can call them the tard schools, I guess.
That's what I call them. That's a Maxwell term, man. I did that because that's what they think. That's how people think. They're like, oh, well, you go to your special school to learn how to be a blind person.
Learn how to be blind.
Like, look, motherfucker, I was born blind. I know how to be a blind person. What are you talking about?
Always go back to the blind.
Oh, of course, we got to, man, because there's so much shit. Well, did you see that thing I shared about a week ago where the guy was like, man, you thinking this long a time that we'd be further education wise about this shit than we are. Because he said he was watching some kind of sports event and the guy who was covering it happened to be a blind dude. And they were talking about how inspirational and Jesustic he was. And he was like, look, he said, I found it to be insulting the fact that somebody said, how could you live with a disability of this magnitude? And he's like,
magnitude.
Yeah. Well, that's what the guy said.
See, I think this is what the deal is though. And this is the only thing that I can think of. Is that sighted people look at blind people as if one day you wake up and you can't see anything. So before you used to be able to see everything,
sure.
and
But what
then
they're
now
doing,
you can't see anything.
but what they're doing is they're putting their shoes on you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're trying
But
to you're trying to make me walk in your shoes, motherfucker. Like, don't tell me what
Right.
you would do. I don't,
Right.
this
So
is
that's
how
why
I've been.
I think that they think it's such a tragic disability because
Oh yeah.
could they wake up in the morning and just be like, oh shit, I can't see anything anymore.
Right.
It's because the world is so visual
Right.
that for them it's like a tragedy, and it's like for us, especially if you're born that way, it's like, well, it's just what I'm used to. I just do what I do. You
Right.
know, it's
Well, like,
not
okay, in the back of my mind, I can think that it's so tragic being deaf, right? But the motherfuckers are just
right.
like, hey, they do what they do, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like,
Now, now I can't say that I didn't go through my own grief process back in the day, though.
well, you
Yeah.
lost vision though, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Oh, really?
But I think that I thought that my vision was normal because
Ah.
everybody treated me normal.
Oh,
They
so
they didn't do anything like, hey, you can't see, so leave them alone, or
so
no,
you didn't get
we got
tardified at any
we
point.
got we got I mean, I went to a blind school for a few years
Right, right.
just to learn like basic braille and stuff like that.
Right,
But
right.
when I was outside of school in my neighborhood, if we got into a fight, we're fighting. We're gonna do it.
Well, see, and
Care if this guy's I don't care if this guy's blind, whatever, man. Get in there, get in the
see
mix, you know?
that's the other thing, man. Like the people, my family included, growing up, never treated me any differently. So I
Right.
thought, I was like, okay, yeah, yeah. It wasn't until adult life where I really started to deal with some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, wait
Well,
a
the thing
so
the thing is though is that there was times where I would like run into things or people,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and I would
did.
feel really, 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 really bad about it. This is like 7, 8 years old. I
Right.
feel really, really bad about it, and I just go cry because it was like
Really?
why? Yeah, it was like, why, God, did you make me this way? Why did I run over?
Oh damn.
I was riding on a bike and I ran over a little kid. Because she was in the way.
Right. What's funny? Wow. Yeah. See, I never thought about shit like that.
But
Like,
so then I would be like, why did you make me this way? Like, if I wasn't made this way, that little kid wouldn't be crying right now because I ran her over.
Mm.
You know,
okay.
and so I went through a lot of little things like that.
Interesting.
And I think it has to do with the fact that I have some vision. I've been,
Oh, maybe so.
Cruz has more vision than I do, but still,
Yeah.
at the same time, when you did something that pointed out your visual impairment,
Yeah.
Right.
then you're like, damn it, I am not normal. I'm lying to myself when I'm saying that I'm normal
Yeah.
because I did a blind thing just now. I ran into something, right? I hurt. There was a couple of times I was running top speed and I ran over somebody too, like just bam, and they just fell, and I was like, oh no.
See, for me, it was more as I got older, like high school, where people didn't want to hang out with you outside of school, or that kind of shit. Where I ran across those a lot of times where, oh yeah, we're all gonna go over and do the all right, see you later, Max. Like, oh, all you motherfuckers are
Yeah, or yeah,
man, that's
kind of similar, or like always, like the bathroom shit, like always being worried about going to the right bathroom was a big one for me.
Oh, see, I didn't.
But you also get like this sense of like especially when you're visually impaired. Like I think I've mentioned this before. I used to always say I'm not blind. I'm visually impaired.
Oh, you want to make the distinction?
Sighted.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a distinction. I can see.
Right.
And as I got older, I just said, I don't give a. I'm blind.
Right.
Whatever you want.
Well, but
I'm legally blind, whatever. But I used to. There's a distinction, and there is a distinction.
There is. I mean, because obviously.
Yeah, I used to make the same distinction, and I'm actually like you now. They're like, "Are you blind? Are you blind?" Yes, I am.
Yeah.
But you do have some.
And then
your guys' experiences are different than say mine. You know what I'm saying?
My wife will chime in though, and she goes, "Shut up! You can see what you want to see."
Yeah, that's what a wife would say. That you
Yeah,
guys
of
know
course.
you guys know you're in a good marriage when she says something like that.
And you don't get
Yes.
mad.
It's like,
No,
of
not
course
at all,
not.
because I know she's messing around. You know,
Yeah,
it's
you
just
see what you want to see. That's a great comeback. I'm blind. No,
you,
you
you
don't.
see
You
what you
see
want
what
to
you
do.
want to see.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and because when I first like started, talking to her and stuff like that, I remember one time she was wearing a belt, and I was like looking at her, checking her out, and I go, "Oh, that's a nice belt." She goes, "You can see that? Holy shit!" I was like, almost like it was
Damn
like
it.
because
You're like,
she was trying to figure out what I could, when you first get to know someone, they try to figure out, well, how much can you see?
yeah, they're
Does he
not
see
going to
Right.
ask
this?
you
Does he see,
normally, And when they
does
do
he see
ask you,
that?
you can't really answer correctly. Like, I don't know.
Right.
How much
Yeah,
can you
yeah,
see?
exactly.
Oh, that's like
So
people.
sometimes when she would do stuff, I'm like, I'm looking at you, and she's like, you can see me from way over there. I'm like, I can. I mean, it's a little blurry and it's a little like, but I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing too. You, as some sighted people, try to understand it, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
bro, you're not gonna. Like, I had somebody the other night ask me, and I've been asked this a lot. So you just see black? Well, I don't know what the fuck black is because I've never seen. You know what I mean? So I don't know what. Yeah, maybe that's black. Maybe, yeah. I
There's no
guess
concept of the idea, which
I have no idea.
People can't grasp that,
Yeah.
And for us, it's like a challenge. For me, I take it.
Okay,
I try
but
to.
I would ask this question though of you, Max. Is there a difference when you close your eyes versus when you open your eyes? Like when you're going to sleep, you close your eyes. Is there a difference in shade when you open your eyes?
Not really.
Like
Because
can you tell that your eyes are open
I can
because
feel it. Well, I don't know.
you can feel it.
According to somebody I used to date,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
But no.
So maybe you do see black.
I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what that is. I mean, I guess.
But that's what I'm saying though. I mean, the back of our eyelids is basically black. So if you see the same whether your eyes are open or closed, then you do see black.
I don't know what it is. I mean, like I said, I can't, because I've never seen black. I couldn't give that.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm telling you that's what it is.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. All right.
So if somebody says, "Hey, do you see black?" You say, "Yes, sir, I do."
Yeah,
I have no idea what the fuck. For me, I rather inform them this of, hey, man, I've never seen before, so I don't know what it is.
A lot of people can't grasp that. They can't even grasp the concept.
Yeah, and then people are just like, fuck this guy. He's not gonna explain.
And
that's
all right. That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't like babysitting people and hand holding and I don't want to have to educate you every step of the fucking way.
I enjoy sometimes like trying to describe my vision to people because I can.
Oh yeah, I do that.
I can actually tell people. I can give people a general idea. Like it's like for depth perception. Like if I just put a hand over one of your eyes or wear an eye patch for a day and see if you fucking bet if you have any depth perception. And they go, oh shit, you don't see depth around which is a big thing. So
it's like asking a defo, what is it you hear? Do you hear nothing? And he's like, but the fuck is nothing, but the fucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know what nothing sounds like. You know what I mean? Like to them, it's just like, man, dude, this is just how I am.
To the deaf people who are watching this on closed caption, I apologize.
Yeah, for you deaf niggas that don't hear it.
Max's.
How about I hit that like this? Will they understand it a little better?
Oh man.
This is the part of the show where I get offensive.
How much PBR have you drank?
I'm on my 4th right now, so I'll be like, one day I'm walking, hey, bigger, I heard what you did about me. Deaf, you talk about deaf people and dick, the buying motherfucker.
Yeah, we're gonna get some. We're gonna get a bunch of death threats.
Death threats.
Oh.
You can see the signs. Can you see the signs?
I hope they don't have any hearings about those.
So here's what I do though, like especially if I'm in a room or something like that.
Uh-huh.
I'll point out, just like Cruz, he tells people, put an eye patch over your eye, and that's how I see what the depth perception.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll point things out. I'll be like, look, I see that there's a picture frame behind you, but from this distance, I have no idea what's in it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in it. Now, if you put it close to my face, I might be able to tell what's in it, but I might not.
Yeah.
I still might not. You know,
That's
I'll know that it's maybe a human being, but I don't know if he's dressed in army gear or Navy
right.
gear.
You couldn't give
or
a detailed description of that picture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Even when it's close to my face, I can't do that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, okay. And so that kind of quashes it. It's like, oh, okay, I guess I kind of sort of get it. And then they'll never really get it. Like you said, they'll never really get it. But at least you give them a sense of, and I get it. If you don't want to tell them and you want to give them that answer that you keep giving them, fine.
Well,
but what I'm
like
telling you though is that you see black. Fuck that shit. You see black.
Well, okay, and I get it, but at the same time, I want to show them that, like, look, I've never seen black, so I don't know what black looks like. So
yeah, well, I know it's a circular argument. That's the problem.
You're never gonna win. Yeah.
We get
no,
it.
but actually, the person when I said that to
Max
them,
sees black. Max sees black.
when I said that to them though, they were like, oh wow, damn, I didn't even think about that. So they were kind of an enlightened sight.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
It's good.
Okay.
So what else?
There are enlightened sightings, man.
And sometimes I'll pull that stuff too. Like I'll say stuff like, well, I don't know exactly what it's like to see just like you, so I don't really have a reference, but I'll tell you what I can see in the room. How about that? That might,
yeah.
Well, that's all you can do is give them the reference you have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know,
yeah.
I mean, if you don't know colors, although maybe I should meet somebody who puts my hand on a block of ice and goes, "That's blue. That's what blue feels like." You know, and that's
no, there's no such thing as that shit. And I'm actually.
Like
either
would
I'm
you fart in a
colorblind.
deaf person's face and go, "Yeah, that's what loud smells like." You know what I'm saying? So, so they're on some synesthetic shit. Hey man, this fart is what loud smells like. All right, you know. So yeah, you smell that? That's loud.
Man, that could be loud.
That's what brown smells like.
That's what brown smells like. You can try that with deaf people, with blind people too. Hey man, you want to smell brown? Brown smells like butthole.
Actually, wouldn't it smell like the rich, loamy soil of Mother Earth?
Shit.
So, anyways, guys, that's all I got. My dreary psychoanalyst out of the way. But it's just like I said, it's interesting how different people process shit. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
well, you know, shit. Koala never made it. I think she attempted to, but
yeah.
couldn't.
Well, we missed her.
Yup.
So
Yup.
We'll have her next time. I'm sure. Hopefully, she doesn't doesn't sue us for anything or cause trouble.
Well, if Max doesn't call her and be like, "Well, where have you been?
Where have you been?
Hey, no.
Where were you?"
Actually, no, I will text her and just be like, "Hey, we missed you last night," or something like that. But I mean, I'm not upset.
So you're kind to Koala, okay?
Well, but
this other girl gets the. Well, I don't give a fuck about you. I'm going to go to another cleaner.
Yeah, well, but this is Koala. This is just fun, I mean, obviously, it's not something that's earth shattering, but when it comes to something.
So I don't have to show up at exactly 8:55.
My
time.
Well, you don't have to do shit. I mean,
that's the beauty. So, we're all doing this because we enjoy it.
Yeah, we enjoy it. That's the thing. There's no money involved. It's
all about us just enjoying each other's company and enjoying.
Oh, wait a minute. There's no money involved.
No, man. Have you seen a check yet?
I was under the impression I haven't seen anything.
There you go.
I'm sorry. Don't worry. I know I told you that you would get. I'm sorry.
Oh, dude. So it's on Jeff now, man. You got
on me, man.
It's on me.
Just send me a penny and I'll be happy.
Dude, I'll write you a check for a penny. That's what we'll do.
1 cent. 1 cent check.
The check, the cost of mailing the check.
What was that movie? Was it The Jerk?
Check.
Was the jerk when he invented some shit and they sued him and he was writing checks for $1.09? Remember that? $1.09.
That movie's fucking great. And speaking of jerks and knee jerks and other jerks
and pecker jerks and
I guess pecker jerks. I guess we'll wrap this up.
We're gonna shrink wrap it up, man.
Wrap it up. This is the drunken. No, we're not even. I'm not gonna call it drunken.
I'm the only one drinking. I don't think this is even...
shrink wrap. This is the shrink wrap. Nothing sacred shrink wrap with Lou Loke. This is the May 27th, 2023. I'm Cruise Control.
I'm Maxwell Silverhammer.
I'm Louie Loke.
And that's the story there. Oh, you fucked it up. Go to the tart school. Peace. Good.
We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred.
With Maxwell Silverhammer.
We are nothing sacred. With cruise control. We are nothing sacred.